Hi everybody, how y'all doing? Okay, since the technology is working, right, let's see if we can make it continue. So, pardon me a moment. Okay, so this is my, you don't know why it is you think that you're doing the things you're doing, and the reason why you think you're doing the things you're doing isn't the reason why, um, talk. Okay, so, by the way, all this applies to me, obviously, because otherwise how else would I figured this out for myself? So, eat the fish and spit the bones. Whatever works for you, take. Whatever doesn't, just leave. So, the mind can go through all of these different things as far as, when you have a plan to do something, a goal that you have, let's say, for instance, and part of it obviously will be, you want to achieve something, whether that's a milestone of your education or, if you have a physical goal, if you're trying to achieve, in your like workouts or something, or if you just have a habit you're trying to create and stuff, whatever the case may be, usually there's an idea, a presupposition of some kind that, you're going to feel a particular way. There's an anticipation of you feeling a particular way in response to that, not only just the fact of the satisfaction that you've achieved the goal, but also what you're really trying to achieve within whatever it is. I'll call that like a practice or an exercise, let's say, for instance. Um, that once this is accomplished, you will feel such and such about yourself because you will view yourself in such and such a way. Now, sometimes that keys into some people thinking of how someone else will view them, or even in society, or that kind of thing. But I want to cut that out of the equation of this one, because that's just the lesser part. Okay, pardon again. The rest of it more is just how you see yourself and what you think you're going to gain, right? Okay. So, that being as it is, you can get any idea in your head about, you know, what that might be. And the thing that I find that's so funny is that there's no mathematics like that, which is proven to people at some point when there's the letdown or the disappointment of achieving something. you know, then comes the, wow, I thought I was going to feel such and such when I did this and so, and it was so empty, or I really didn't care, or maybe I worked on it for so long I've just lost my interest in it, or whatever the case may be. But when you've talked yourself into thinking that for so long, sometimes there's a self-fulfilling prophecy of feeling that way because you've kind of worked yourself up into that state of mind. So, how this creeps into what I mean when I say we don't know why we do the things that we do, or the motivation behind the things we do, we think are different a lot of times. Um, I think is because we could feel those ways independent of that. And instead of making that feeling within yourself apply to that and be contingent upon it, rather to allow that to occur to yourself without that, and then whether you do or do not such and such, then it's for its own sake rather than applying the pressure of accompanying a certain feeling that you're trying to get, or idea that you want to have yourself, a way that you want to see yourself, like an image you have of yourself, or yeah, whatever carved out notion that you have. And the same, I think, is true in a sideways manner, with people, because, and I talked about this in another vid, I think, where I was saying that I completely just lost my train of thought. Um, I'll skip to another part. I think it is incredibly overlooked the deep way that people affect one another, um, in a manner that is so profound. I don't think that people even could begin to fathom its depths, because how other people can support, bolster, cut off just any kind of a way that one can affect another, and for years at a time, and whether it really is that other person or obviously the way that you're reacting to it that makes that so. But if we had any notion of it, really, I think that the way that we would treat one another would be with a recognition of that to such a level that would go beyond the respect of humanity, but to foster someone else in such a way that it isn't directive intentionally. And that's, I think, where things kind of fall through sometimes, is that a person will have an idea of a preference for another person, of what should be correct or what should be done or how it should be done, or as if anybody could ever really think of um, what could possibly be good, better, or worse for anybody. Why do people think that they even? I'm not sure why people play that comparison game, because I don't think that it's really possible. I mean, I think that's how judgment happens, is that we don't have any clue what the choices were that someone might have been posed with, as to what looked best at the time, considering others, why a choice was made. And so, having those patent ideas about something or whatever just leads to so much divisive interaction that stops connections of any kind of a way that's positive, just creates animosity. Now, I know that some people flourish from that, and that they actually look towards that, and they you know they they use that as their fulcrum to propel them forward. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, but it's certainly not a mathematical certainty. It's certainly not a mathematical. It isn't a mathematical certainty, because certain people can have supposedly the same exact experience and react to it differently. Even within your day or your life, you could be having the same experience and reacting to it differently depending upon who knows what, right? So if you've got it in your head that you think that you're going to react in a certain way, or if you're concerned about something happening or not happening, or if you find yourself in a situation where you're convincing yourself that such and such is the answer for yourself, and that that's going to bring you about to a place where you're happier with this or satisfied or whatever the case may be, just remember that it's the thought that you have about it that creates that option, not necessarily the thing itself. So you may just as well be happy not as yes. I hope any of that made sense or was useful, or at least might have been comical, or something, anything. Take of it what you will, leave what you don't need. please feel free to chat in the comments because I'll be able to write back to you. But it will still be on Gretchen as a Squirrel. That's still me writing on this channel and anywhere else. So, wish you all bright blessings of peace. Take care.